Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Broku, and welcome back to the review of the newest Black Clover chapter, Chapter 252, and this is titled Water Crusade. So, we will now get the fight of Mimosa, Noelle, Lord Pachika and the Water Spirit versus Vanica and her tongue disciple. Now, I'm going to give my review, summary, and analysis of what's happened, and let's just go over. So starting off, it opens up with Noelle in her Valkyrie armor launching a Sea Dragon's Roar towards Vanica. Now Vanica would then activate her blood magic Red Beast and completely neg the Sea Dragon's Roar. And then pretty much owns Noelle in a statement saying, what was that snake supposed to be? An attack? Displaying that Vanica was able to, basically without difficulty, without even using Devil Mana, just completely countered Noelle's Sea Dragon's Roar. Now, while this is important to also note, is that you can actually probably use this for Noelle scaling, but I'm going to get to that once I get over with the summary of what happened. Now, after this, you get the Tongue Disciple attacking Mimosa, but Mimosa kind of counters it on her own. Now, she says she slipped some magic controlling weed seeds into her last attack, which, wow, Mimosa is drugging other people, but anyways, they are attacking her. But, so, we can't really use this to scale Mimosa, not really for sure, because she is using potentially magic items to amplify herself against this Tongue Disciple. So both times she went against this Tongue Disciple, she was actually getting help. First from Lord Pachika, second from these magic controlling seeds, which seem to be boosting her mana control. And then before that, the Dark Disciple is actually accidentally attacked by Vanica as she goes to attack Mimosa with a Red Beast, but he is brought back to life because that is what he is cursed with. Now, this is revealed that Vanica has two magic types, which is, what everybody's been saying ever since Dante used that other magic type back in his fight. So it's confirmed that Vanica has blood magic and curse warding magic. Now, if you don't know, warding means to guard or protect. So would that mean curse guarding or curse protection magic? But that brings up a weird thing because seemingly Asier was attacked. Seemingly Lord Pachika was attacked by the curse. So these curses should be protecting or guarding them, right? Is maybe Lord Pachika gonna turn into a villain? Is the reason why Asier died is because she wanted to die before she got turned into a villain by the curse warding or curse guarding or curse protection magic? Is that what's really gonna happen with Lord Pachika here? We do know that this curse is supposed to weaken her once she gets to a certain point, but in reality, it's actually only in a way made her stronger, as she was now a better sensory of Devil Mana. So now this means that the other Dark Triad, as stated also, is that they can all use two types of magic, their own, and then the magic of the devil possessing them. So Dante has gravity magic and seemingly flesh magic, some sort of flesh. Xenon has bone magic, and then this weird, potentially box magic. That reminds me of spatial magic, kind of like that spatial magic that the Diamond Mage had when he could interrogate people with it and bring them inside of his own spatial dimension. Now, after hearing World Tree magic and dark magic, Lord Pachika would think back in a different time and would basically just go and read out of her library. Now, we do know that the Princess of the Heart Kingdom, they inherits the power, but also their knowledge and experience. So this is also kind of weird, is that I feel like Lord Pachika should be way, way stronger than what she really is. If she has the Water Spirit, for one, has a mana zone that covers an entire country, uses runes and arrays, and also inherits the power of all past princesses, which would be inheriting multiple lines of royal blood, you would think that maybe these people wouldn't be that close to her in power, but I don't know, maybe we'll get more explanations. But she goes back and she finds out if they let the Dark Triad win, over 90% of the people on the continent will die, and it will spell the end of the world. Now, they're all shocked, but Vanica's excited. She's like, I want to get all fired up with the tough guys who managed to survive in a place like that. Humans who are weak enough to die don't interest me. So that's what the Dark Triad's plan is that they want to live in a hard world to weed out the weak, and they want to survive and live with the strong people. But Lord Pachika does not want this to happen, so she activates a really weird type of attack. Now, it is called Mana Zone plus Mana Method, Water Spirit Magic, Ludic Sanctuary. So this is Mana Zone combined with Mana Method, combined with the Water Spirit. Now, it might just be Mana Method is like an array, because she is using runes to create an array here. In fact, it's two. There's one giant one around the water cloud, and then a smaller one kind of around Lord Pachika. So maybe a Mana Method is using two different arrays, and then combining that with Mana Zone. This spell not only cuts the magic power of Vanica in half, it also increases the power of Noelle Silva. So this would lead to Noelle using a new Valkyrie armor called Mermaid form, just rushing right towards Vanica and impaling her with her lance, damaging her and leading her to lose blood. But it ends there, and Vanica is just laughing about it and seemingly is going to activate more of her devil power because the veins around her eye are starting to activate. So it's probably going to be that next chapter, Magicula will be using certain percentages of her devil power, which is actually quite exciting. When this chapter was first being leaked, everybody was saying that Noelle now scales drastically above as well, because she was able to go against Vanica. But as you can see here, this scaling here, like this whole argument of, oh, Noelle's new, mermaid form, and then, damaging Vanica in her base form, you actually can't even really use that as scaling, because Noelle was having her power of magic being boosted by this spell from Lord Pachika, while at the same time Vanica's magic power was cut in half. This means that this is not really usable because we don't know how much Noelle is amplified. If we knew that, we could probably use that, but since we don't, we can't. But what we can do is take the feat from the very beginning. Now you might look and be like, oh, well, how is Noelle, her Sea Dragon's Roar, being just destroyed by Vanica's blood magic? How is that, like, a thing? How is that a feat? Well, if you just look at it in the last chapter, without any magic, or using a spell, Vanica could kill her 50% Dark Disciple. Whereas when she saw the Sea Dragon's Roar, she wanted to activate a pretty, decent-sized spell to neg that, which you could then argue that she did have to put more effort against Noelle than one of her Dark Disciples, and then you could use that to scale that Noelle would then scale above the 50% Dark Disciple, which would then put her also above and that is just quite likely. And also, I'm very sure in the, not the recent, but in the upcoming chapters, we will see more feats from Noelle, and from that, we can use that to scale her even higher. But just right now, she is being amped by Lord Pachika, and Vanica is being nerfed at the same time, and yet, just that was what it took to, quote-unquote, defeat Vanica in her base form. Now, again, I do want to go back and talk about the Mana Zone plus Mana Method. That is something that I'm wanting to learn more about, is Mana Method. We haven't really heard that term before. We've heard Mana Zone, of course, and this is seemingly a combination of two techniques. This is because it says Mana Zone plus Mana Method on the right, and on the left says Water Spirit Magic, Ludic Sanctuary. So, Mana Zone and Mana Method, those are two different techniques, right? So what is Mana Method? Is that using multiple arrays at once? Oh, actually, and I just realized that I completely missed this earlier, but there are 3 arrays in this. There's one in the middle, the biggest one up top by the spirit, and one below. So there's 3 arrays. Maybe if you use 3 big arrays, that's called Mana Method. Don't really know, but yeah, it's a combination of Mana Zone, Mana Method, and the Water Spirit, and that's a very, very potent spell, guys. Just think about that. You have the ability to cut the power of somebody you're fighting in half, while also increasing the power of allies. That is like, this seems to be like a spell from an MMO. I just started playing Elder Scrolls Online, so maybe just think that. But yeah, I'll also be streaming that probably next week if you guys want to watch. But anyways, yeah, definitely some crazy stuff here. And crazy that it's just, looking at this image here, it looks like the devils attack using crosses and have people impaled upon them. So what is that? And then you have people's heads being chopped off. You have people hanging on the tree. You have people being eaten by the devils. Is this just to show pure chaos? Or do they just specifically go and cut people's heads off? Do they specifically impale people on crosses and use those as weapons? Because if you look, they're all holding the crosses, and there's a bunch of dead people. Maybe they need these crosses and these people to, like, act as a sacrifice to bring them in? Don't really know, but I'm excited for the future of this fight. I think that in the next chapters, Vanica will use more and more percentage of her devil mana. She looks to be just about to activate it at the end of this chapter, but then, you know, it goes to the next one, so that will be crazy to see. And also, Valkyrie Armor Mermaid form. Can Noelle only do that when she's being amped by Lord Pachika's magic? Because she doesn't use that until then, but also you could just use the argument that, you know, she has this from, you know, learning of this from her training, but she only activated it because now they're fighting Vanica within a giant pool of water, so using a mermaid form would work very well in terms of fighting inside of that. So I wonder how the mermaid form works of the Valkyrie armor. Maybe it just works better in water and it's faster, or maybe it is just stronger when you are fighting within water. We'll need to know more for sure, but yeah, Noelle is definitely still going to be beastly. She's still going to be likely scaling above, you know, especially if you use the fact that Vanica, she didn't need magic to one-shot the Disciple, but she did need magic to dispel Noelle's strongest spell, the Sea Dragon's Roar. And also, let's just put that into perspective here. Gaja used runes, or used an array to take the attack from the Sea Dragon's Roar before the time skip, and that seemingly did more damage than, or it was way harder for him to dispel that than Vanica, and that was a much weaker version of Noelle. So this base Vanica likely scales well above Gaja pre-time skip. So yeah, this is getting crazy, guys. I'm trying to figure out what might happen, because sure, I guess once Noelle and Lord Pachika did this combo spell, they kind of no-diffed base Vanica, but it was a half-power base Vanica. So, yeah, and then again, we also don't know how powerful Noelle is. It just says it boosts the power of Noelle's magic. But I honestly think that Vanica will use above 50% of her devil at some point, and that's going to cause a lot of issues. We still have the Disciples that are going to be fighting. I wonder just how it's going to go. Is Noelle going to show up? Me and the guy on Twitter, who was one of my friends, Street, were talking that actually Noelle would be probably a decent counter towards Vanica and her blood magic, because Mercury is toxic and poisonous. If she can get it, if Noelle can get that Mercury in her blood, it might be able to poison her. And it also could possibly be a decent counter to the Disciples, because if the Disciples just die and respawn, well, how about if they're poisoned and it causes them to slowly die and incapacitate them? How would that work? That might be good for not necessarily completely killing the Dark Disciples, but it would be good for incapacitating them for longer periods of time. But overall, that was a pretty good chapter. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 probably, and I'm excited for the future chapters. I honestly still think that they will defeat Vanica and Magicula, and I think it's going to be a group effort. Mimosa's going to need to be pulled in, probably going to have to heal them at times, probably more combo spells, and I just really hope that this isn't a victory by Lord Pachika dying and then Noelle getting the Water Spirit. I don't think Noelle needs the Water Spirit in this series. I think she can, progress just fine without it, as, proven throughout the entire series so far. I want to see, though, is Noelle using Mana Zone, runes, and arrays. She hasn't used that yet. She's so far in this fight is relying on Lord Pachika's magic, her own Mana Zone, and Mana Method. So I'm just going to say that Mana Method is probably when you use multiple arrays together, maybe multiple giant arrays specifically. So that's crazy to think that Lord Pachika was combining her magic with Mana Zone and Mana Method and the Spirit's magic. So pretty crazy giant spell there. You can see how big it is. As you can see, Vanica and Noelle are within it, and they're both very small portions of it. But with that being said, to end it for this chapter review, if you guys did enjoy, let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...